What mistakes did you make with your first company that you promised yourself to avoid doing again at Dwolla? That person did not put their name, but that is a phenomenal question. The first and the second time and the third time out, every time you are going to learn super painful lessons. And I guess from my first company, one of the really painful lessons that I learned was that there's a point at which you forget your customers are human beings. Like you forget they have like a soul. I'm not saying like to perceive them as some robot on the other side trying to make your life hell, but I remember maybe a few specific scenarios where someone had contacted me and like had a problem. And it was, hey, you go through the general stuff and somewhere along the way it's like, oh, well, like you plug this thing into the toilet and that's not where it goes. And it breaks when you do it this way. And I remember at the time, my response being in my head so amazingly logical that I believed with my whole being that I was just telling them the truth. And it was awkward, but like I was telling them the truth. What was actually happening was I was insulting the holy hell out of the guy. And then when he came back and I'd angered him, I didn't talk to him about, how to avoid that and how I was gonna take the hit and help him out. I basically gave him all the reasons why I wasn't gonna help him. And furthermore, he then threatened me with something like, well, I got access to the internet, I'm gonna go do all these things. Obviously being a young, dumb idiot, obviously I'm just like, dude, I'm trying to help you. Go do whatever you want. I'm trying to help you. And the reality is that particular situation followed me around for a while. And it was because I was a young guy who started it thinking I was doing the right thing and then thought I was handling a situation with the right demeanor or someone was threatening me, when the reality is what I learned about problems is people have different perspectives based on what they know, obviously. And had I been a little bit more mature at the time and I would have just realized that, wow, this guy doesn't actually understand that like those things are not compatible, maybe I can help him get back up and running and I can invest in him as a client long term and I can help his problem turn into a repeatable solution for other people and for my future customers. And I was too immature to see it that way. And I've carried that lesson with me for a really long time. And I can't say that, we always get it 100% right as far as teams grow, but I do think that having that very humbling lesson early in life gave me the opportunity to hopefully imprint on some other people, like the importance of treating our customers like human beings. It's not everybody is just like a measure on the risk scale, especially in payments. Like these are real people that are buying things and paying for their kids' daycare. And thinking about who your customer is and what their life is actually like is so important when you start thinking about how you take care of that person. And that was one lesson. And when I sold that company, I made a personal decision that I was just ready to get out. And I don't think that I made the greatest choices about selling the company, when or to whom. And I would do some of those things differently, but had I not done them, I never would have learned those lessons. So, you learn from doing. That's the best way to learn.